Hey friends, today I have got some red, white, and blue vintage Americana DIYs coming your way. So for my first project, I am using this triangle piece that's from the Dollar Tree. I guess it's like a little shadow box. And I'm going to take some of my plaster Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to give the entire thing a coat. So I'm going to coat that inside. I'm going to coat the inside of the frame itself, and then I'm also going to paint the outside as well. So my next step is taking some of my apple barrel red and just some water, and I'm just going to kind of dilute this paint down a little bit, and I am going to take these amazing raw wood flowers from Sola wood, and I will link a link for them down below where you can get a discount because I love me some Sola wood flowers. But anyway, sorry. I am just simply taking these flowers and dipping them into that diluted paint, just kind of like I said, like a stain. And I wanted to do it with some blue as well, which it got a little crazy there, but it's okay. It's okay. We still got our blue flowers from it. And it was so simple, you guys. I literally just dipped the tips of these flowers into the paint, and it picked up the color just the way that I wanted it. I did dab it off because I didn't want it to be super bright or super intense because, again, I'm kind of keeping with a vintage type vibe here, so I did want it to look a little older. And yeah, I did try to do it with white. Now, there is a difference. You can tell in person. You know, I may not be able to see it on camera very well, but you can definitely see in person how the white even helped, you know, kind of change that color of those flowers. So anyway, of course, I decided I wanted to take these flowers and make rows of red, white, and blue in this triangle shadow box. And I didn't even think about it at the time, but once it was all put together, I kind of got the vibe of like a memorial, you know, the memorial flags that they give. And it just made this piece just a little extra special. And of course, just to finish it off, I did take some of the antiquing wax and just kind of went over the edges and the sides and, you know, just aged it a little bit to my liking. And that was all there is to it. So today's video is a part of the Patriotic Open Challenge that is hosted by THERESA B and of course co-hosted by Unicorn Dust Designs. This is a very special challenge in which all of the proceeds that THERESA earns from YouTube from this are going to be going to the Fisher House Foundation. And I will leave a link for the Fisher House Foundation down below as well. And this is really just to give a big thank you and all of our respect to all of those that have served and that still do serve to this day. Thank you. So the second DIY is actually really super simple. I'm taking the star wood ornament from Dollar Tree, as well as this little 3D frame from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to kind of disassemble this because I did not want that little 3D piece in the middle and, you know, the little block and everything on the inside. So once that was done, I decided I'm just going to give it a good painting of that Waverly chalk paint in plaster, which As most of you know, that is my jam. That is my favorite color ever. But anyway, I gave it a cool, complete coat there. And then I'm going to take, of course, some of that antiquing wax, and I want to dirty it up, of course, but I really am trying to give a wood grain effect in there, just a real simple wood grain effect. And I actually took a little pointy brush there and just kind of drew out some lines with that wax as well, and trying to give it some, more grain and texture on the inside of the sign. So I wanted to have one section of the backing to be a red, and once I painted that, I did take some white and kind of dry brush it over top just to give it more of a rustic looking feel there. And then I took some blue and I painted my star. Now I wanted to paint all of the front as well as the sides. I'm not worried about the back because we are going to be gluing that down. I do also take some white and dry brush over the star as well, just to keep up with that kind of rustic, older look that I'm always going for. And like I said, we're just going to simply go ahead and glue down the star to the back of this sign. So I decided I wanted to add just another piece or element to this, and I make a bow. So it was just going to start out as a regular bow, and I just kind of kept winding and winding, and I was actually okay with it because I figure the fluffier the better, right? So I just wrap it around my fingers a bunch of times, then I take another piece and kind of just wrap a piece of that twine around the middle and tie it off. And then once it's tied, you just kind of fluff it out, and it becomes this kind of crazy fluffy twine bow that I just adored. And I'm just going to simply glue it down over top of that hole, and really that is all she wrote on this piece. And it's so simple, so quick and easy to do, and it'll definitely add to that Americana feel or vibe that you would be going for. Now I know the last project I said was easy, but this was actually even easier than that. So I got these little buckets from the Dollar Tree, and although they're very cute by themselves, I wanted to do more to them. So I simply printed out some of these old vintage poster pictures from Google Images, and I am going to put them on these little buckets. So I'm taking this truck bucket. Yes, I know I'm painting over it, you guys. Don't judge. Don't get on me about painting over the little red truck. We have enough red trucks out there, you guys. I'm serious. So I painted over that one, and yes, it took probably about 4 or 5 coats of that red to cover it up, because I wasn't quite thinking about maybe I should have just painted it black first or something. I don't know. Whatever. I got it done. So what I did is, once it's dried, I'm going to be taking some Mod Podge, which is by Plaid, and I am going to Mod Podge these pictures right on top of my buckets. Now this one, that was just a flag. I actually liked it, and I didn't feel like I needed to paint over this. So what I did do though is I completely covered it with the Mod Podge. Now the Mod Podge is a matte Mod Podge, so my thought process was it will help tone down the shine that is on that bucket already. So for the red one, I'm taking the We Can Do It poster, and I'm going to Mod Podge it to my red bucket. And I'm also going to do the same thing with this. Now, even though the paint has already made this matte, I wanted to protect the paint, and I'm going to completely coat this with Mod Podge as well. And of course, to keep up with my theme, I am going to take some of that antique wax again, and I'm just going to dirty up my buckets here. So I really think that, especially for this one, it just adds to the character. It definitely just makes it all blend together so much better. And I just love, love, love how these turned out. And like I said, you guys, so simple and so cheap to do. And you just put some straws or some napkins like I've done, or whatever you want in these, and you've got an instant, party decoration, or just something so cute and simple that you can add for your home decor. Okay, and our final project is yet another super, super easy one to do. So I found this sign at Dollar Tree, and I just simply removed that star off of there altogether. I'm going to take some of my awesome apple barrel blue paint and red paint, and we are going to paint this sign. Now, I know I talk a lot about my apple barrel. I know I talk a lot about my Waverly paint. And if you guys don't already know, they are parts of Plaid products. And I do work with Plaid and absolutely love being affiliated with them. So I do have links to their website and everything below if you're interested in getting any more Plaid products. So after all of that, all I'm doing, of course, is painting out my flag. So because this galvanized sign is already, bent and has its kind of sections already there for me, I'm just going every other one and painting red, and then I'm going to come back and use my Waverly chalk paint and plaster, because again, that's the color we've been using throughout all of these products here, or projects I should say. And that's going to be my white stripes. And I feel like it just worked perfectly together to have that toned down, muted, matte type colors that I wanted for this flag. Okay, yeah, so do not come after me for this. Do not judge me for this. But I knew there was no way I was going to get 50 stars in there. And I tried. I really was thinking I was going to get it there, but it wasn't happening. So inevitably, these turned from stars to just kind of like resemblances of stars. I don't know. But you get the idea, and that was the whole point of this. I wasn't trying to be perfect. So I'm taking some of that antique wax, and I'm gonna, of course, rough up my edges there. But I'm honestly, I'm gonna go over this whole sign with this. I do want to darken it up and age it quite a bit, just to go with the flow and the feel of everything else that we've created so far. Once it's all dried, I do take some of that Mod Podge and matte again, and I am going to put a sealant coat over top this whole sign, mainly because it is acrylic and chalk paint that is on this galvanized metal, and it will chip off if you're not careful. So I thought that the Mod Podge would definitely help as a sealant, and it does. It was great. So I finished it off with just a piece of twine, and I kind of frayed it out a little bit, and there you go. You have a super simple, easy little patriotic sign that you can hang up in your home. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to check out the playlist that's listed below and see what all the other wonderful creators have created for this challenge. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and hit that subscribe button below and check me out as Official Craft Nerd on Instagram. And thank you again to everyone that has served and continues to serve to this day. We love you and appreciate you. God bless. And everybody, thanks again for watching. Stay safe.